Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking about when your body wants comfort, not discipline. And for those of you who want a personalized guide through this energy, I make intimate audios tailored to your needs. So feel free to reach out if you feel called. Okay? One of the things that I have been committed to doing for several months now, I would say almost a year, I have been eating in alignment with my menstrual cycle. So I will eat and drink certain foods and beverages during follicular, then ovulation, then luteal, and menstrual. And today is we're going to focus in on luteal phase. And personally, luteal phase to me feels like the sensitive nervous system of the entire menstrual cycle. And there's just a lot of grace and a lot of gentleness that we need to give ourselves during this time in our monthly cycle. And so anyway, I want to start off by discussing that cravings aren't a lack of discipline. They are information. So our body communicates through appetite, through fatigue, and desire. And so especially in luteal phase, our nervous system wants safety and steadiness. So the cravings that are popping up, that are showing up so intensely, they are often a signal that, hey, we need some extra grounding right now. We need some extra grounding today. Or, hey, we need some more warmth. We're shivering too much. We're feeling too cold. I need some more warmth. Or maybe some extra minerals or rest, not punishment. On Saturday of last weekend, I was moving through some heavy grief, and I am personally still oscillating back and forth between fearful avoidant nervous system attachment style and secure attachment. And there is this in between of transitioning into secure attachment style, of feeling this heavy grief of what you were supposed to receive in childhood, and just having to grieve different parts of yourself, and just how heavy that can feel, and how much rest your body needs in order to process that grief fully and safely. And so anyways, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that Saturday I got home, it was maybe like 3:19 in the afternoon. I laid on my couch, fell asleep for about 3 hours, woke up, did an hour of cleaning, and then I just went to bed for the rest of the night. And the next morning I just beat myself up, and I was like, man, I just slept my whole day away, and I could have gotten some things done, and my period's coming soon, and I don't want to get behind with my chores and my life. But that's the thing, is not encouraging that self-shaming, self-sabotaging talk to yourself. And shame can actually worsen around food. So anyways, this is what I'm trying to say, is shame around food makes everything worse, because shame activates the threat response. And so it triggers your body to go back into survival mode. Your digestion, your intuition, and your satiety cues will shut down. And then the cycle becomes crave, shame, dysregulation, more craving. And so here's the thing, is shame doesn't create control, it creates chaos. So it's just really important that you don't beat yourself up by listening to your needs from moment to moment. And in luteal phase, when we typically endure stress and, we're releasing trauma, we're processing grief, there are already certain physiological things happening simultaneously. So our progesterone increases, so our metabolism rises. Our stress and trauma processing actually burns more energy. And so what ends up happening is our body will start asking for carbs, fats, warmth, and predictability to stay regulated. So in my personal life, I have been craving chocolate like crazy during my luteal cycle, but I typically crave chocolate stuff anyway. It doesn't matter what phase it is. It's 11:11 right now. Hell yeah, I love this synchronicity. It means I'm on my highest aligned timeline at the moment. Anyways, carbs. So yesterday I made lemon chicken soup with some buttered noodles and parsley on the side, because my body was craving extra carbs and it was craving fats. And so I put butter in my noodles. And I actually did that with my beef stew the other night, which was a first, and I didn't think I was going to like it, but it actually turned out really good. And back to the warmth. It's warming to eat soups and stews and pasta and things that you know are going to warm your body up if you use a little bit of spices. Okay? And predictability. This is where eating in alignment with my cycle comes in. So instead of trying to read all these magazines and looking at my Samsung food app and being like, okay, well, I'm going to eat that tonight. And I end up spending way too much in groceries because I love to cook so much and I love food as a ritual. Like I can really just go overboard with it and I don't want to get too crazy. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up going into ChatGPT and I was like, okay, I love to eat fried chicken. I love to eat beef stew. I love to eat lemon chicken soup all the time. I love to eat pasta all the time. I love hamburgers. Like, how can I structure this to be an ultimate hormonal alignment and also with the current cycle that I'm in, the current phase that I'm in my cycle? And so anyway, I ended up making this whiteboard, and it's right behind me actually, but I have a list of how I created hormonally and phase-aligned pasta, stew, steak and eggs for breakfast in the morning, avocado toast, lemon chicken soup, ahi tuna salad. I mean, like, the list just goes on and on and on. And I will point out a couple of my drinks that I love to rotate through. So I love to drink this concoction of organic pineapple juice, inner filet aloe juice that's also organic, and a little splash of lemon juice. Sometimes I intuitively feel called to put L-glutamine into it, but that is my favorite drink, especially in the morning. It's so good for my gut, and it actually helps me release. And, you know, growing up in a narcissistic family system and all the trauma that I went through and endured, my gut and just that lower part of my body has just braced for so long that I've just always struggled going continuously and more than once in a day. And just recently I have been going very recently and quite often. And so anyway, the food has helped a lot in that healing process. So another one of my go-tos very recently, this is a new addition. It is a lemon ginger probiotic complex. So it's like little powders, and I bought it from my healthy grocery store called Harmon's. And I just put it in my healthy water that I also go buy. It's a Kangen water. And I put it in my fridge. I chill it. It's alkaline water. And the reason why I started drinking alkaline water again was because I just always struggled with like acid reflux and nausea. And I just really love to balance out the acidity and create a better pH within my whole energy and my physical body. So one of my faves, so I mix that powder with my Kangen water and then I'll drink that, and it tastes like a healthy lemonade. I love it so much. Another thing is my berry smoothie that I make. Sometimes I will add maca powder. So during luteal phase and follicular phase is when I will add that in there. I love to drink kombucha. My favorite is a lemon berry Synergy kombucha. That's my freaking favorite go-to drink of all time. Convenience-wise, health-wise, like, I love it so much, and I'm so glad more gas stations are selling it. Like, thank God. Because you know how much it sucks to go on a road trip and drive like a 7-8 hour drive, and all the gas stations just have crap and soda and just a bunch of shit in there that you just don't want to drink. And yeah, I'm just so happy that more gas places are selling kombucha, especially Synergy. So anyway, and then yeah, the other last two I have are hot chocolate. So I have this Ghirardelli hot chocolate that I bought from Harmon's, and I'll just heat up oat milk on my stove because I hate microwaves. Hate ingesting ionized radiation, and that's been with me since I studied organic chemistry in university. When I had to write a lab report about ionizing radiation and how microwaves affect our food and all that other stuff. And I thought, well, damn, I'm getting radiation from my phone. I'm getting radiation from these cell towers. I'm getting radiation from airplanes. I might as well, how can I like limit my exposure? And that's just one thing, is I just stopped using microwaves. Like, oh gosh, how old am I now? 29. I stopped using microwaves maybe for almost 10 years now. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and I don't miss them whatsoever. Like, I just yeah, anyways. Um, and so I have like a couple of modifications where I'll make it hormonal friendly by adding maybe a little powder splash of nutmeg or cinnamon or some vanilla extract or maybe even some collagen. But I typically like my collagen powder in my smoothies. I don't really like to put that in my hot chocolate, but it's all about preference, right? It's all about what you like to do. And you get to learn, you get to experiment and learn what you like and what you are going to habitually want to consume for you, for your body, and for your needs. So, another thing is grape juice. I love organic grape juice. It is so good. And I actually think this comes from my Jewish upbringing because we had to drink a lot of grape juice all the time, every time we did the freaking prayers and stuff and all the Jewish holidays and eating challah bread. And I just always drank grape juice with the challah bread. And the kids are not supposed to drink, what is it called, Manischewitz until they get older. I mean, at least like my Jewish grandparents, they were like super rule followers. And so they would not give us that until we turned 21. But anyways, yeah, I think every time I drink it, I always think about my upbringing. And I think about all those times where I went to their house and like we just fucking sat there for like 3 hours talking about genocide of the Jewish people and then like feasting and then meeting with the ancestors and the relatives and stuff. But you know, like there's certain things I liked about that, like about that upbringing, about the community and the food and lighting candles. But you know, that's the only thing I like. I don't like the fear. I don't like the guilt. I don't like the belief system. I don't like the performance. I don't like the fakeness, the judgmentalness, the narcissists that were a part of that community where I like. So anyway, yeah, not to go on too much of a tangent, but those are my favorite drink go-tos. And if you guys want some more of my personalized recipes that I do to be ultimately hormonally aligned and cycle aligned, then feel free to reach out. I will post that link in the show notes below, and I will create a personalized audio just for you, tailored to your needs once again. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else I want to mention about this. Oh yeah, I want to talk real quick about nourishment as stabilization and not indulgence. So let's try to reframe nourishment as a stabilizer, a form of emotional containment, a way that our body says we are safe enough to heal. And some examples that you can do for yourself are creating warm meals, familiar foods like I just got done explaining, having enough food and not restricting yourself. Oh my gosh, this is bringing up, I'm getting triggered. When I was younger, I did not have full access to healthy, consistent foods being in my house. And this goes for both my narcissistic mother and my codependent father, dusty father. So anyway, like his house was TV dinners and Oreos and Doritos and Kool-Aid and canned tuna and a bunch of other disgusting shit. And what is it? Yeah, the ravioli shit that they used to make. I don't even know if they still sell that anymore. Do you guys remember when you could go in the grocery store and like pick off coupons that would print like out of those little things off the shelf? I don't know why I like literally just had that memory pop up. That's crazy. Early 2000s, maybe late 1990s, but like you'd go in the grocery store and it would be like all the sales and then you'd just like pull all the coupons and just endlessly. And anyway, we had that at this one grocery store back home called Buy Low. So anyway, and so yeah, and then my mother's house, like she would just buy certain things and she was just broke all the time. And I always felt restricted with food growing up. And then my dad ended up getting remarried after he divorced my mother. And she was like, she was a really weird, like, I don't want to say traditional person because there's aspects where I'm traditional, but in a high vibrational, healthy way. It was like she would buy just enough for dinner and then that was it. And it was just always this weird energy of going into the fridge if you were so hungry and eating the food that was there because she lived in scarcity. Like there was just always this scarcity energy around food with her. Like she would only buy so much and like that was it because that was her budget. And that's the thing is she was in a marriage with my father and she was in a marriage with a man who wanted to be the receiver in the relationship instead of the provider. And so because she was providing, she was always broke. They were in an inverted polarity relationship. And so anyways, that creates a lot of resentment and a lot of problems, and it's just not healthy. It's very toxic, it's very dysfunctional. And look what happened to me. I literally didn't get nourished properly. I didn't get fed properly. I was restricted, and can fuck up your hormones and your development. So this is why it's so important that we don't just jump into relationships and make extreme life-changing decisions like marriage and having kids, because you have to be smart. You have to, number one, exit survival mode for yourself. Make sure that you financially establish yourself to where you can pay your bills on your own, you can provide on your own, and you have a new baseline of safety and freedom and security and coherence in your nervous system before you start getting into relationships with these men that are going to end up taking advantage of you, using you, and draining your bank account, okay? Because the way I see it is, in relationships, women are assets and men are liabilities. So, period, full stop. They can literally get our ass pregnant and fuck up our entire lives if we're not smart enough, all right? So you got to be careful. You got to make smarter decisions. You got to work smarter, not harder. And you know what? If you are already doing everything on your own, you're providing, you're protecting, you're leading, you're receiving, you're nourishing, you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing that is in alignment with healthy feminine and healthy masculine, you will naturally attract a mirror outside of yourself, a person who is going to be mirroring what you're doing, and your energies will polarize, and one of you will end up being the receiver the majority of the time, and the other person will polarize with you and be the provider the majority of the time. So I 100% stand 10 toes down on that as an embodied feminine woman, you know, with a sensitive nervous system, sensitive vestibular system, and because I deeply value self-care and nourishment and protection and safety and freedom. Like, it only makes sense. It only makes sense, and it feels like it's the healthiest heterosexual expression that can exist. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to speak on about that. So anyway. Okay. And so yeah, just make sure, after that long tangent, make sure that you are getting enough food. Make sure that you create an abundance for yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you have leftovers and you're like, damn, I didn't finish my food. Or if you make just enough and you get upset and you're like, damn, I'm still hungry. You know, make sure that you have stuff in your home as you learn, as you experiment and you learn and you grow, and then eventually you start mastering how to make meals for yourself, and you start gauging your appetite and your appetite levels and what you typically eat in one sitting and what feels good for you. That's the biggest indicator, is what feels good for you, not what fucking Google said, not what the box says, not what ChatGPT measured out for you. No, you just eat what feels good and what you need in that moment. If you feel like inhaling an entire, raspberry chocolate loaf from the grocery store, it's like one of those mini ones that are about 5 inches long or something like that, then fucking do that. If that's what you're craving, then do that. And don't beat yourself up about it. Don't start the self-shaming narratives. Go, okay, I'm going to reframe this, right, as nourishment. I am nourishing myself. I'm nourishing my body. My body needs this right now. And you know what? I could be eating something way worse. I could be eating Doritos. I could be eating Hunger Man frozen TV dinners with a shit ton of salt in them. I could be eating a donut, which is not even nourishing. Okay? Yeah, it's a craving. During your menstrual cycle, that's another thing. If you do crave that while you are bleeding, no judgment there. Go get yourself a fucking donut. But if your goal is nourishment and your goal is meal focused and how can I nourish myself in this moment? Okay, well, I'm going to make myself tikka masala with white rice. That is my homemade, recipe. And you know what? What do I like with that? Sometimes I like little non-dippers that are refrigerated in the grocery store. And you know what? I always crave chocolate or some kind of dessert after I eat. What is a healthy dessert that I can give myself in advance? So that way when I go to make my dinner, boom, it's already there. It's guilt-free. I've already done the thinking for it. All I have to do is just prepare it and make it, right? So anyways, it's not about achieving this perfect nutrition, because I personally do not believe that exists. Like, there's not just like one certain thing, that one stream of way of eating that you can follow. No, I believe it's a blend. It's an integration of what feels right for you moment to moment. I believe in intuitive eating. So I've been able to reverse a lot of health issues and gut issues and all of that from intuitively eating. And I did not have to follow a paleo diet or a keto diet or a vegan diet or all the other fucking diets that they tell you to do, which, some of those are great short term. But to do that as a lifestyle, I don't believe in that. So don't believe that for me and for my soul journey and for this body. So yeah. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to mention here is I want to talk about grief, appetite, and rest. And I did touch on this earlier about when you're grieving, your body really isn't lazy or broken. It's just metabolizing loss, and how that can show up as collapse, where you literally need to collapse for the whole rest of your day and just sleep and allow yourself to sleep and be guilt-free about it. So for me, when I'm processing grief typically dulls my appetite, but I know for some people it can intensify it. So it's really just about finding that balance, and for me, since it dulls my appetite, I try to drink something. Like if I can't stomach anything, I will try to drink something. And for you, if grief is intensifying your, your cravings or your nourishment or whatever, then honor that, because grief is temporary. For me, it moves like 2 to 3 days through me. So you know what? If you're going to gorge out for 2 to 3 days and you're conscious of what you're eating, hey, honor your body, honor your nourishment, take care of yourself, put yourself first. Okay? And, I'm not telling you to go to Golden Corral for the next 2 to 3 days, but, if you feel like cooking a dinner and it's for like a dinner for 4 and you just want to fucking eat all of it, then do that. Do it. And don't blame yourself. Don't guilt yourself. Don't shame yourself. Okay? So anyways, and so we actually end up sleeping a lot when we're grieving, because your psyche is processing a lot of stuff. And so because your psyche is processing a lot, and it ends up making your body, signaling towards more comfort foods and longer rest periods. And I just want you to take this moment to just exhale and allow your nervous system to exhale, because this is part of the journey. You are going to be grieving. You are going to grieve a fucking ton, a lot. If you're a sensitive, feminine being down to your soul level, you've got a sensitive nervous system, got a sensitive vestibular system, and you grew up in a narcissistic family system as well. You really grew up with extreme, insane conditions, living conditions, and lifestyle conditions, and you're just now getting out. You are learning how to create life for yourself. You're learning how to hold your joy for the first time ever safely. You're learning how to nourish yourself. You're learning all these things, okay? I just want you to exhale. Exhale, because this grief, you're going to feel this in waves, okay? To go from disorganized attachment to secure, you're going to grieve. When you go from survival mode to financial freedom, you're going to grieve in waves. That is just how it works, because you're moving from your baseline of fucked up, trauma, dysfunctional, which is exhausting as hell. It's not a stable foundation, to a stable foundation, to something healthy. There's grief. There's grief in that, and lots of waves. So you got to be gentle with yourself. When your body is craving comfort and not discipline, it's really important that you honor that. Okay? So, if your body is asking for comfort right now, listen. Listen to it. It's not regression. Your body isn't regressing. It's somatic intelligence. It's bodily intelligence. Your body is so fucking smart. Your body is so fucking smart, and we don't give our bodies enough credit as we should. And when you start listening, things are going to make a lot more sense moving forward. Okay? If you want a personalized audio to support your body through this, something made just for you, then you can reach out. The link will be in the show notes below. Okay? I love you guys so, so much. Stay tuned for the next activating drop episode. I can't wait to see you there. Bye for now.